Welcome to Two Split. My name is Dots, and today we take you back in time to those movies that were seen as fictional crap. Whilst working on this, all we had on our minds was this quote by Charles Holland Duell in 1902, and I quote, "Everything that can be invented has been invented." Tell us what you think about that in the comments. Before we begin, can you subscribe? Also, stay to the end for a bonus entry. Now, let's roll. Here's a fun fact. Do you know that some movies in our list were book adaptations? So, who takes the credit in that case? Let us know in the comments. Number 1. Voyage Dans La Lune, A Trip to the Moon, 1902. This film was loosely based on the novel From the Earth to the Moon, created in 1865 by Jules Verne. With silent films back in the day, you can just cheat your way to one take. It was the earliest science fiction film and was ranked 84th at the 100 greatest films of the 20th century by The Village Voice. Just 67 years after, it looked wizardry when Saturn V rocket AS-506 lifted off from Florida to the moon as part of US's publicity stunt against the USSR.
Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too.
And if you still think it's all a hoax, the first step was witnessed on live TV by at least 1/5 of the world's population, or about 723 million people, which made Neil Armstrong a celeb. Today, SpaceX rockets fire almost like cannons, and we hope Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson are now challenged to try the moon for a trip number 2. We'll see.
Paid for all this. So seriously, for every Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart very much. It's very appreciated.
Number 2. Fahrenheit 451, 1966. This movie is based on the 1953 model of the same name by Ray Bradbury. In Fahrenheit 451, seashells are described as, and I quote, "temple radios timed tight, and an electronic ocean of sound, of music, and talk coming in on the shore of our unsleeping mind." In 2001, Apple iPod and the white seashells came out. Then, in 2012, they started the earbuds revolution. We've reviewed many of them, so check our videos. They also featured an interactive TV, hanging rails, jetpacks, but seashells stuck out for us. HBO even had a 2018 remake starring 2 of the baddest villains in comic movie history. As for the movie plot, we hope that never. Star Trek 1966. The TV series, before the movie, predicted a lot of things and is one of the most popular shows ever made.
Spock. Spock.
Spock here.
Scan us. And lock onto us.
That Star Trek clip was directly responsible for inspiring Motorola engineer Martin Cooper to design the world's first mobile phone in 1973. Flip phones are not so much in town, except for the Nokia we recently reviewed on this channel.
Be buying that stuff, right? T'Challa is clearly Nigerian. I mean, it's in his name. T'Challa. The guy's from Imo State. Look, I can't even talk to you, man. Look, I'm grown, man. You can't tell me when I can't come home, all right? I'm coming home when I want. Bye-bye.
But we now enjoy the smartphone craze of today. Interestingly enough, this series was set in the 2260s, so we achieved some of their predictions with 240 years to spare.
It's going to be close. Very, very close. Stand by. Stand by, Enterprise.
Spell it, Captain.
Number 4, James Bond Moonranker, 1979. James Bond started as a series of books from 1953 by Ian Fleming. This movie featured a Seiko A259-5019 digital watch, which was the foundation for what we have today. Another James Bond film by the same actor, Octopussy, featured the Seiko TR0201, which looks more like the smartwatches of today. Moonraker seems like a good movie too, with space travel, pythons, ninja, and a Frankenstein bad boss. Let's not forget that the Bond movies were popular with their futuristic cars, and we still await the realization of Die Another Day, the invisible Aston Martin car. Number 5, Desk Set, 1957. The movie was one of the few in its time that gave us Man vs. Machine and a love triangle all in 103 minutes. As the story goes, computers were brought in to ease a company merger transition and things didn't go according to plan. It was a mainframe computer 6 years before 1957, but not as common as depicted in the film. The computers in the movie were meant to optimize the reference library, as it was called, which we think probably influenced today's Microsoft Office, QuickBooks, and so on. We would also bet that it inspired the word desktop computers. And there you go, we took 5 of the best throwback movies. On our last entry, do you think movies like Ready Player One, Inception, Tenet, Interstellar, Ex Machine, Looper, and more would be throwbacks for future technology? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, take care.